Happy Wednesday. No idea what day it was for a second there. Um, I always feel like I need to wait a little bit before everyone arrives, but then when it goes into my reel, everyone's like, "Can you fucking get on with it? Hurry up!" Um, but I haven't done a cancer update in a while. Um, so I did have an appointment with my geneticist yesterday, so I thought now was a good time to do an update. Because unfortunately, once you finish chemotherapy and have clear scans, everyone in the world, the outside world, outside of your cancer bubble, thinks you're now fine forever. And unfortunately for cancer survivors, it's not quite like that. There is always that lingering what if at the back. Let's be honest, that tumor grew inside me and I had no idea it was growing inside me. So is there another one growing inside me? Like every time I do anything now and feel something weird, or like for example at the gym earlier, I was doing an upper body session and I was like, I'm really tired. I can't really finish this set. And then I have flashbacks to when I couldn't finish sets before I got diagnosed. I'm like, when I was anemic, and I'm like, am I anemic again? Like, do I feel tired again? Like, is that what this is? And am I that tired? And I have to really go, Danny, you had breakfast 5 hours ago or 4 hours ago. You're probably just hungry. It's fucking hot and you're coming off the back of your period. So like, just calm down. And you're lifting really heavy. Like, it's always there. Like I get a niggle or I feel like a lump in my tummy and I'm like, I've got another tumor. Or I get this weird headache and I'm like, oh my God, now I've got brain cancer. Or it's metastasized to my liver. Like it's just never ending. Like it's the after throes of cancer that people actually don't understand. And also because when you're in cancer, when you've got cancer and when you are having treatment, you are really in fight or flight mode. You are doing everything to survive. And so, I feel like the mental load isn't quite as much because you are like getting through it. Like every day during chemo is like a fight for your life. And so there's no mental load because you also know that you're doing everything you can in that moment to remove your cancer and you remove that. So afterwards, it's actually worse. So then to top it off, I had so when my tumor got removed back in May last year, they test it and they stage you and then they tell you basically from there they can tell you whether it's genetic or it's not genetic due to the genes that are in the tumor. And so mine was a bit confusing because he said, look, it looks like it's not genetic. You've got two genes that have come back like not genetic, like it's not genetic. But you have a mismatched DNA cell. Oh, for God's sake, Danny. Mismatched DNA cell repair. Now, please remember, I am not a fucking doctor. I'm not a geneticist. I'm not a surgeon. I have no idea. Like, I am relaying what I've been told in the way that it's gone into my brain. So if my words are wrong and this doctor's listening to me, please don't have a go. I had mismatched cell DNA repair on my cells, which meant that I potentially could have what's called Lynch syndrome, even though the other tests came back negative for Lynch syndrome. Now, Lynch syndrome is basically a hereditary syndrome where you are then more predisposed to multiple different cancers, including colorectal cancer, kidney, uterine, ovarian, and I think there's one other cancer. Okay. So obviously when I heard the negative to Lynch syndrome, I was like, phew, thank goodness. And that sounds right because no one in my family's really had cancer. Like dad had a little melanoma on the back of his neck. Doesn't really relate. My uncle on my mum's side had bladder cancer, but he smoked and drank literally since he was like 14 or something. And worked on big ships. So like, not big ships, big trucks in the States. So very unhealthy lifestyle. So very lifestyle factor cancers. So not genetic cancers. And so it made sense that I didn't have Lynch syndrome. And my parents were like, yeah, you shouldn't have Lynch syndrome. But then we had this mismatched DNL cell repair. So my surgeon sent me to get he wanted me to see the genetic center because they wanted to find out how this has happened because this particular one, as they said, looks genetic. Anyway, and then obviously that could affect the kids. So I couldn't get an appointment until yesterday. And this was back in like June. This is how long it's taken to get me an appointment. So I had an appointment with a geneticist yesterday over the phone. She's at Peter Mac in Melbourne. She's a geneticist, she's a professor of genetics and oncology, and she's doing a research project with another guy called, I can't remember his name, Dan someone. Anyway, they're doing this research, and they just got back from Germany at a conference regarding colorectal early onset. So she specializes in early onset colorectal cancer. So it's anyone under the age of 45 getting colorectal cancer is early onset. Okay, so she specializes in this. Anyway, so she said there's quite a few really interesting things that came up. So basically, yeah, the 2 genes that were negative for being great, but there was 1 gene that came back was positive for BRAF V600E. And this gene basically has, if you've Googled it, it's very fucking scary, really, if you Google it. It basically is a gene that has no off switch. So basically it causes cells to continue multiplying uncontrollably. And in tumors, this can mean your tumors basically multiply significantly and fast. So in stage 3 and above in colorectal cancer, the outcomes of having the BRAF gene are fucking poor. And when I say poor, guys, I'm talking survival rate of like 8%. Like, I'd be a goner, okay? In stage 3 and above. Luckily for me, I was stage 2B, which meant that my tumor had gone through the bowel wall into my blood vessels, but had not attached itself to any lymph nodes or hasn't metastasized to any of my other organs. And because I had surgery to remove the whole tumor and all the blood vessels and the surrounding lymph nodes, the cancer has technically been removed from my body. Then I had chemotherapy to basically mop up any remaining cancer cells that were around, because if they were in these blood vessels, maybe they're in those blood vessels. Like, they removed the blood vessels to my 17 of my lymph nodes, but how do you know there's no remaining blood vessels going somewhere else? So I had the chemotherapy to mop that up, right? So in stage 2B and below, the likelihood of the cancer returning because of this BRAF gene is actually quite low, which is great, right? It means that I have a low risk of it coming back. However, 2 things. Number 1, it probably means that my tumor originally grew very quickly, which is why it was already T4 by the time I got there through the bowel wall, and potentially hadn't noticed. I mean, I was pregnant, so very hard to diagnose during pregnancy. So number 1, it probably grew very quickly. But number 2, it means that I potentially do have Lynch syndrome, and the BRAF gene also makes me susceptible and a strong candidate for uterine cancer. Lucky me. So she usually sends off for 7 genetic tests with this. She wants to send off for all 22 genetic tests, which are going to send off, 22 genes. Test 22 genes, usually test 7, because of my age, because of my results, and because it's very bizarre that I've got this BRAF gene with no genetic history, with the other 2 genes being negative, and my age. She said she usually sees, it's called methylation, she usually sees it in adults over the age of about 65. So why have I got it? Like, how has my body made this itself? And so if when they come back, basically it's going to tell me whether I have Lynch syndrome. And if that's the case, and I definitely I'll need to be monitored and have surveillance in other areas. I'm going to have other tests done. If it comes back that this BRAF is not great, I potentially might have to have like a hysterectomy to remove my chances of uterine cancer. And as I was saying earlier, it is now just another thing on top of what was already sitting there. Because I don't think, like some other cancers, uterine cancer, I don't think has any symptoms until it's too late. And even bowel cancer, until it's too late, doesn't have any symptoms. And this is my issue at the moment, and this is obviously a conversation for another time. But this is my issue with the bowel cancer screening at 45, or even just bowel cancer screening in general, is that by the time anything is getting picked up, then it's usually too late, which is why we need early detection for people under the age of like 45, like from age 29. So yeah, it's a lot. Because I was hoping this was all really behind me. Not behind me, it's never going to be behind me, but I'm sitting here, I've got Hyrox in 7 weeks, I've got a marathon in July, I'm doing New York Marathon in October, I'm so 1st of November. I've got so many exciting things, and this test is going to take, thanks, Grace, 12 weeks to come back as well. So that's the other thing. Like 12 weeks? Like, what the fuck's going to happen in here in 12 weeks? Like, am I growing a fucking another tumor in 12 weeks? Is the BRAF taking hold of another tumor in my bowel and it's going to then just, like, full on go blow? And am I going to get, like, the things going through my head are a bit wild, and I really have to pull my head in, because it is easy just to get, like last night I was talking to Mum and I was like, oh, I want to live to fucking 100, man. I want my kids to know who I am. I don't want to fucking die. Like, I'm not here to die. Which sounds really extreme, but anyway. So I have to wait 12 weeks. I'm going to go get my blood test this afternoon. I'm going to wait 12 weeks for the test to come back, and I've got another appointment, and then we go from there and see what the deal is. And hope that I don't have the syndrome, that I've created this gene by myself. I'm very fucking clever. And we just get closely monitored for the rest of my life. So yeah, I'm still on, so I was in surveillance anyway for 5 years, so 3 monthly blood tests, yearly colonoscopies and CT scans. In my head, that doesn't sound like enough. I had a colonoscopy, thanks. I had a colonoscopy in November because I had that weird blood loss again. And he said I don't need another colonoscopy for a year. Even my mum last night was like, just get another one at 6 months, get one at your anniversary in May, like, just do it. It's risk of perforation of your bowel with too many colonoscopies, but what's the alternative, So on top of moving states, being in Airbnb for a month, living in a rental with no aircon or fans, which we don't really like, which we're trying to find a new rental, having to end my journey with London, which I'll talk about another day, and then to have this put on me yesterday, it's just a lot. And my beautiful friends all want to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm happy to do this because I can just talk and no one talks back, and I have to answer questions. So sorry to my friends who want to talk, and I'm just like, I just don't want to answer questions. But anyway, that's my update. The other thing she said, actually, which is very important, which I almost forgot to tell you. So yeah, she went to this conference in Germany, all about early onset bowel cancer, colorectal cancer, and they have more research now. Are you listening? Are you turning it up? Are you pressing save? Are you sharing with your friends? Are you ready? There is more extensive research now coming out that colorectal cancer, early onset colorectal cancer, is stemming from microplastics, interruption in gut microbiome due to things like preservatives, additives, emulsifiers, thickeners, red meat consumption, and processed meat consumption. She said that, and I didn't say anything. When she said that, my heart fluttered. I was like, thank you. You've just completely validated everything that I knew already, that I'm trying to do in this world. She said microplastics. She said water bottles, like obviously containers that food come in, all those microplastics that get heated up, water bottles are the worst. She said like all those things that interrupt your gut microbiome, so all that shit in food that is fucking on the supermarket shelves that's killing you. Just in case you guys don't know, the city of San Francisco is suing 9 major brands, Coke, Nestle, Kellogg's, there's 9 of them, because they know they are doing harm to your health. Stop giving your kids ultra-processed food. Then she said an overconsumption of red meat. She said every family should be having 2 meat-free days a week with red meat in very small quantities. She said once every 7 to 10 days max. And she said 0 processed deli meats. This is coming out of a conference in Germany of professors. So I'm not going to stop. I don't care if trolls come at me and say they're too fucking busy to not make fucking home-cooked food. You are actually killing your kids. You are doing such a negative thing, and to you guys as well, because what's going to happen if you don't stop in 20 years' time for you? Like, we just need to boycott ultra processed food. We need to boycott ham. Guys, use your voices. I've already used my voice in my kids' new daycare about ham. I found out yesterday that the school hub is also gives super dupers and certain occasions, so I'm sending an email to the school. Use your voice. Nothing will change if we all stay silent. Use your voice. Let's get rid of ultra processed food. Eat real food. Let's have good gut microbiome so you feel good. Let's get rid of plastics. I'm in the process of getting some glass containers, so I'm also terrible. We have plastic containers for our food. I'm changing over to glass. Anything you can do, and I know it's very overwhelming, but just start small. Just do one thing at a time. But yeah, ham, red meat. If you are going to eat red meat, please make sure it's organic. Please make sure it's grass-fed, hormone-free. I know it's not as accessible, so just eat less of it. You know what's really cheap? Beans. Lentils, all those things are so cheap. I have the most amazing lentil bolognese and lentil and veggie lasagna on my app, full of proteins, delicious. But please be careful what you feed your kids. Stop with the plastics. Stop with the the processed meats and deli meats. And yeah, just look after yourselves because this is really fucking scary. I told my daycare not to give my kids deli meat and they want a letter from the doctor. Just send them fucking research. It's all over the fucking news at the moment as well. It's literally, you could send them all the research. Karina Savage was on Sunrise the other day again talking about it. She's on there all the time talking about deli meat. It's all over her page, so go see Karina's page. But the research is right there. It's on the Cancer Council's website. Like, it's on the Cancer Council's website and they serve it in schools and daycare. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm not going to stop because not only was having cancer bad enough, but this is bad. This is forever for me, and now it's frustrating. So anyway, that's my little update. If you are struggling, making changes, I'm just a DM away. I'm a DM away. I have lots of resources. I have free recipes for you guys, free workouts on my YouTube. But otherwise, you can come work with me. The Vitality Project next intake is on the 1st of March. If you actually want to change your life, you might have to invest in it, Anyway, exercise as well. That's what other thing she said. Exercise, number one thing that reduces your risk and reduces reoccurrence. So God, you know that I'm exercising lots because I do not want this to come back. Anyway, I go get my kitty winkles. Thanks for listening. Lots of love. Bye.